Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. Now we're going to have the wonderful sound of not the Pogues, but the Rogues. Any minute now, after the dancing cat has appeared for the umpteenth time, please do enjoy that and come back and listen to what the lads have both got to say.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on to talk to me today about your music. When did you start this erstwhile band?
I think it was about around 2021, wasn't it?
Yeah, towards the end of
Towards the end of 2021, that was when we started getting together, and then we started gigging in 2022. Then.
Okay.
Yeah,
So how old were you all when it started?
I just turned 21. I think
Right.
you boys were like 20.
Yeah, 20, 21, and then Ben, the bass player, is a little bit. He's a couple of years younger than us. so he
Yeah, you
probably
brings
would
the
have
average down.
been-
just a
Yeah.
little.
So that's quite interesting time because you just literally come out of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you all been like learning your instruments and stuff whilst COVID been going on, or did you all start earlier than that? But it kind of expedited the idea of getting together and being in a band.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've all of us in the band have played our instruments for quite a long time. Like when we were young kids. But for me, like I went away to university and didn't really like play the drums that much, for example. And then when lockdown hit, it was at home, and I thought, oh well, haven't got much else to do. So it was a blessing, really. So then after that, it was like, oh, I want to do this a little bit more, or like practice. Play the drums a little bit more, and then Rod dropped me a message and asked if I wanted to start with a band with him and Andrew.
There you go. Did you have your drums out every day during lockdown?
Yeah, I just had them in my room.
Did you?
Yeah, like just acoustic kit in my room, and then in my uni house, then I had electric kit.
Do you remember when lockdown happened? Like everybody was doing this thing where they were like recording songs, what looked like over Zoom, and then someone was cleverly putting them together. You remember that on videos?
I remember that.
Yeah. There were some
Live ones as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
live
there
stream
were.
ones.
Live stream ones. There were some pretty awful songs that appeared as well. I remember there was like some kind of indie charity anthem. I shouldn't say it's awful because it was great because it raised money for charity. But there was there was one kind of indie song that was kind of released, and it had like singers from all these indie bands that were from the 90s and whatever taking part in it. I don't know whether you remember that. And they'd all done their bits. And there were one or two people that shone really well in that. And then there were a lot of people that had forgotten how to sing. It was someone's unfortunate task to try and put all of that together. Blessings if you did that. That was marvellous. What all got you into music? What were your inspirations? Because you can kind of tell what some of your inspirations are by listening to you. I think, but I'd love to hear what kind of inspired you.
I think it varies for all of us. Obviously, there's that indie core element to the band, so we all like sort of a bit of Oasis, a bit of the Beatles, some Rolling Stones, but then we all have our own sort of avenues that we go down, our own little obsessions, So I love a bit of heavier stuff. I like quite a lot of electronic 80s synth music. I like your Pink Floyd, classic rock, and then James is probably a bit more modern than me. And then it just varies for all of us.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like whenever people ask us this question, or like what are our like I don't know top 3 bands that we think we sound like, it's always a hard one to answer. Really, because like Rod said, we have similarities with the inspirations, but then a lot of them are quite different. So some of our songs sound like, I don't know, gearing towards like one avenue, and then other songs are a little bit more different. So it's
You're
tough
quite
one.
melodic though. You've got that kind of pop sensibility about you. I mean, I would say that you can definitely hear in some of the songs you got that feeling of someone like the Cooks in there, haven't you? Yeah.
I agree. Like Andrew, the singer, he writes the lyrics for the songs, and he quite likes a bit of Paolo Nutini. A lot of people do say like early Kooks type stuff as well. I think we get that quite a lot.
Our music is quite poppy, isn't it? Which is quite melodic and simple, and so we definitely lean a lot. I know I do anyway. I like good pop music. From
You're a big Robbie Williams fan.
Yeah, from all the decades. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? I think it can be a strength, can't it, if your songs are melodic and catchy. So yeah, we don't shy away from the pop.
I think it can be a definite plus in this day and age if you think about how music is disseminated, how people listen to music, how it first gets out there. If you haven't got like those little melodies within melodies, if you haven't got those kind of 20 seconds of something to hang everything else on, then you're going to be struggling from the start, aren't you?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, because you know what it's like nowadays. You get a song and film like so many different pieces of content with it, and you just, like you said, you just got to find that 20-second hook or whatever, just a catchy bit, and then if you find that, you just keep building on that and just keep putting that in people's faces, and then just essentially just hope it sticks and stays in people's ear, really.
Yeah. Is it deliberate, or does it just come naturally to the group of you that you find these little earworms? Because there are nice little earworms in what you do.
I'd say it's a natural thing. Like sometimes or Andrew will come up with a chorus, or me or Alex will come up with a riff, and it's so simple. It's almost like it shouldn't. It's too simple, but it works for some reason, because I think simplicity is the strength, like you said. We can't really help it. I wouldn't say it's something we aim for. It's just naturally the way it comes out.
Yeah, it just comes out.
I did notice that on the lyrics as well, that actually the lyrics sometimes almost seem like and this is no disrespect, but almost seem like they steal themes from other songs. But that's kind of cool, because then the rest of the song's nothing like that song. But it starts to make comparisons in people's heads, and making connections with people, I think, is a good thing. Like, for example, you're moving to New York. Well, so were the Wombats, right? Well, that's good. It's two completely different songs stylistically, but people will make the connection between why is he moving to New York, and why is he, and what are they doing it at the same time? That's kind of. I feel like people. There's a kind of almost romantic, sort of retrospective element to all of us when it comes to music. If we hear something that reminds us at all of something else, I feel we're more likely to gravitate towards it in a way.
Yeah, I'd say like there's nothing wrong with being inspired and showing that inspiration through your music, whether it's a lyric or something like a similar melody. And it's not something that's done on purpose. It's just because it goes around, doesn't it? Music just goes around, and if someone could listen to it and make a connection, and like you said, it's that romantic. It's quite like it just makes people connect to the song more, I think. So
yeah, I mean, look, you've got to say this. Even the name, the Rogues. I said it at the beginning, like the Pogues, the Rogues. It's quite good. Have you ever been mistaken?
Well, funnily enough, people say the Pogues like almost like you did, sort of just like as a joke, but we more often get like misspelled, like people just say like the Rouges or the Rogus or
or they say the Rogues, but they get the E and the U wrong.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was so many different ways to spell the Rogues, and people just don't know how to spell. Yeah. So we get that more often than people like saying the Pogues, but we've had to like correct a few people, like sometimes if they've sent us something or whatever. But
I think as a bit of a joke, at some point you should just all buy Pogues t-shirts and have a band photo taken with you wearing Pogues t-shirts.
Yeah.
And, I think that could be cool.
Yeah.
I think you should play on it. Really, it could lead to something. Also, perhaps you should put something out there about how many different misspellings there's been of your name.
We lost count, to be honest.
Yeah, that's quite a good idea, actually. I
think that's good. I think sometimes if you kind of play to those elements and kind of like give back what people have done. It kind of makes a kind of gameplay with the audience, and it shows you kind of not 100% too serious about stuff like that as well. You're not kind of like, taking it in the wrong way. I feel that that's a good way to go. I do think that that's one of the reasons why, and you see it with younger artists now, they're quite quick to kind of come out on TV or social media or whatever with something that could be used negatively in the future, but they take kind of control of it. It's a bit like when Ed Sheeran got that his phone out and whatever on Jonathan, I think it was the Jonathan Ross show, and played his first attempt at a song which sounded dreadful. Yeah, but I think it's better that you own it. If you know what I mean, it's better that you're the one that gets it out through the door, because then, well, if anyone then takes the rip out of it, well, it's like, well, yeah, we did it first. Yeah, we've done it. Yeah. What are you writing at the moment, guys?
So we got a new EP coming out in just over 2 weeks' time, I think. Yeah, just over 2 weeks' time. So yeah, we've had this EP in the making for over a year, really. So we've got quite in that time. We've got quite a few new songs written that we've been playing at some of our live shows, which is great because we've got these new songs that like New York, one of them, like these new songs that have recently come out, but then we've also got brand new ones for us that we can also put into the live set. So it's quite fresh. So we've got quite a few new ones, I think, ready to be recorded as soon as we get this EP out. We'll just be getting straight back in the studio, really.
Yeah. Do you feel like you are a band that will do albums? Are you an albums band? Is there an album in there at some point?
Definitely. Yeah, I think we've got so many songs that we're confident in as well, that we can't wait to get out there. Whether it be, we've got enough for an album, probably two, maybe more. I don't know. I'm not going to give too much away, but I think it's about just timing it and putting the right thing out. Yeah. Whether it be, do we release a single or do we release an EP, an album? That's the bit we find. It's not necessarily the writing the songs, but it's more of like your output. What are you putting out there? Do we release an EP or do we release an album?
What makes it difficult? I don't know. Can I ask you that? Yeah, but what makes it hard? Because almost if you strip it back to like the artist's decision as to like that's the passion. Back in the day, if I can say this, back in the years gone by when I was putting music out, we didn't even think two hoots about it. But it was a very different time, right? We just went, we want to do an album. And then you'd work towards putting together an album, right? Along the way, you might do a single. You just wanted to go for the album. Yeah. Nowadays, it seems incredibly strategic. You're thinking about how you drip feed this to an audience and, sustaining the maximum amount of kind of return on your investment. But is there a point at which you just go, well, sod it, I just want to put an album out there regardless?
Yeah, it is a tricky one. And like what you said earlier about having these days, 20-second hook or whatever on a song to drip feed it out. Like today is so heavily based around like just singles or like even like songs. Some people are just writing really, really short songs just because people's attention spans just with the way social media is going.
I think it's the way the times are. Like we don't really want to be strategic and too sort of logically and just I don't know, just like overthinking it. But it's just like if this was 30 years ago, it's like we wrote an album, let's release it, and that suits me. It probably suits all of us because we're musicians essentially, and we love. It's exciting, but it's just we just got to try and be strategic.
Don't want to be strategic, but I've got to be strategic. It's difficult. It's really hard.
One of those things. It's just like, and like Rod said about timing, like just timing has to be perfect, really. So I guess we'll see how well this EP does and see how we feel after that, really.
What do you think would make it the right time? Would it be that you get a string of live dates in the bag that are the right live dates? You manage to amass a decent enough fan base from that you then feel like comfortable that you've got a sort of community there around you that would support an album. Is that part of it?
I think so, yeah, because we've always been quite fortunate with quite like a local loyal fan base, and we're starting to branch that out a little bit more now. Like we got our first headline tour coming up, with like London and Manchester and stuff, and going over to Dublin and Cork as well. So we're slowly branching out that loyal fan base really, and like you said, just having a big enough audience behind it to back it, and just to have more people just enjoy it really.
Where do you keep those fans? That's an interesting topic in itself, but where do you keep them? I mean, you're on the social medias, and like different social media platforms give you a chance to create a channel and stuff like that, but where do you keep fans so that you know that you've got them for you?
Mainly the newsletter.
Right.
We've had the newsletter for quite a while, but we've really been focusing a little bit more on it, I'd say maybe the past year, and just making it a little bit more exclusive, basically, just for that exact reason, just to sort of build the intent of our followers. So like we've started doing leading up to this EP, we've been doing a little bit behind each song that's on the EP. So we'll be putting another one out tomorrow, and we'll be putting like an original demo track on that newsletter with like a private link, and just things like that really, just to.
We also have like a community on Instagram. It's a big chat on Instagram, and lots of people have joined that, and that's good just to sort of keep people close and keep that sort of community growing, and anyone's welcome to join that.
Who looks after that in the band, or is that everyone's responsibility?
Yeah, it's pretty much all of us. Like if we have like an idea to put into the community, or like if one of us puts a post up and then we just reshare it in the community channel, just to
let them know what we're doing as well. If we're doing something exciting and we want to share it, and then it's just an easy access to us, I guess.
You can venture into doing lives as well. I know that sort of coming out of the kind of COVID thing, I know when I was talking to the Sherlocks, the Sherlocks, yeah? They started doing, there's 4 of them, and they started doing like lives on Instagram, and it was quite funny as well. I mean, they do things like, I remember they did a little episode where one of them was trying to get hold of the new Guinness with the nitro sort of thing, and he was going around all of the different supermarkets seeing who had it in stock and whatever, and it was quite funny, just like following them around. Have you thought about doing that sort of thing as well?
We could do. I don't think we've ever really done like any Instagram live or anything.
No, we haven't done a live. We've put TikToks out there of like things we get up to and all that, but we've never done something live. So it's probably something that we will look into doing, to be fair.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it like before, over the years, but we just never really got around to doing it. It's just one of those things, really.
I've quite enjoyed it. I've started doing like stuff live on TikTok of late, and actually that's a great way to bring a following in. And if you just treat it like radio, that's all you just need to make it into like Rogue Radio. There you are. That sounds good, actually, doesn't it? Rogue Radio. Yeah. Radio Rogue Radio. Well, if you see that happen in the next week or two, folks, you know where it came from. It came from here first.
Got to get it going.
Royalties.
Yeah, you could have guests on, as well. You could bring people into it. That's what I find works quite well, is if you then bring other guests in. If you bring on another artist or something like that perhaps you want to do, do a gig with or something, especially if you're going to a different area, especially if you're like going to London and you start like trying to get London artists to come and do stuff with you on there. So you kind of pick up some of their community before you play. Smart.
It's not a bad show, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way forward.
A gig promotion, that'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. What is on the ambition tree?
As big as we can. I mean, I know this is probably the answer that everyone gives, but just as grow as much as we can and just get as big as we can. Like tour sales are going pretty well, to be fair, for the UK dates especially. So we're just planning to just build on that, and then maybe another tour at the end of the year, and just keep branching out really.
I mean, I think the dream for a band like yours as well is to get a decent support slot, isn't it? Which kind of then elevates you into their audience. Robbie Williams has done that for a number of artists, hasn't he? Especially indie artists over the last few years. You know, would that be a dream come true for you? Supporting Robbie?
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, opening for Robbie at Wembley or somewhere. Can you imagine?
That'd
be pretty special.
Yeah, that would be great.
Slots, they're important. Like, you hear about a lot of bands who've started off doing support slots, and it just elevates you, doesn't it? And it gets you into that big crowd. And one thing I'll say about this is the bigger the crowd, the better really. We thrive on a really big crowd. I know I do. We absolutely love it. Not to say that it's anything like less, like the smaller crowds are lesser, but it's just something that we thrive on. You feed off it, and it's not something we wouldn't shy away from anything,
Listen, let's be honest, right? Every band will play their heart out to whoever's in front of them, right? But when you do those gigs and there's just like 5 people standing up at a bar, it's hard work. It's real hard work, and it's demoralising, to say the least. Especially these days when people will just stare at their phone for the entire night.
makes it even worse, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. It's like, I'm over here. Yeah. Okay. Of course, everybody wants a bigger thing. Is there anybody that you thought of, or that you've maybe targeted out there that you think actually we could possibly achieve this? We could possibly get like a support slot with these people in the next 12 months. Let's make it happen now. Let's copy them in on this as it goes out, and then we could manifest it. It could happen.
Good question. I think there's lots of new indie bands. Well, I'll say new, but sort of new for sort of been going for a few years, like the Claws. We would love to support a band like those. They seem to be doing a lot of gigs around the UK, and lots of indie bands have been supporting them. So we would absolutely love to support them. Obviously, the huge bands, like, it sounds silly saying, but the massive ones, we would love to support. There's also, obviously, you've got bands like Inhaler as well, especially Andrew's got lots of inspiration from those. You too wouldn't mind supporting them as well. Now we're on the topic. But in all seriousness, Inhaler, the Claws, Wonder Horse, those type of bands we're looking up to at the minute, and it would just be a dream to support any of those.
Well, there you go. Let's mention some of them on this when it goes out.
Yeah, why not?
And let's see if we can get some of those to come on board. That would be great, wouldn't it? So when's the next thing coming out then?
So we got the EP coming out on the 24th of April.
24th.
24th of April. So from the time of this interview, that's about a week, 2.5 weeks. So not long at all. So we've already released 2 of the singles off the 4-track EP.
And
there'll be 2 more.
Pre-save the whole lot now.
So you can pre-order the CD, which will be up on our website.
Nice.
So you can just have a look at that. Just type in theroguesband.com and it'll be on there. So there'll be 2 more tracks coming out that we haven't released yet.
Physical copies, you see, that's what people need, isn't it? Physical copies in their hand, I mean, they may not have anything to play it on these days. That's
at least they have
thing, exactly.
They can hold it, can't they? Look at it. Yeah.
I got really quite upset about this recently because we had to upgrade our car following a car accident, and someone else was mentioning following a post about it on LinkedIn this morning. But we were bemoaning the fact that now that we've upgraded our cars, there's no CD player. This is the future. I loved having a CD player in the car. It's so much better than plugging your phone in and playing something like that. Because the thing is, with a CD player, is you've committed to it. You're not you're not going to change CD midway through, especially in the last car. It was actually in the glove box. There's no way you're changing that CD until you stop. Right,
Yeah.
so you're committed to it. You have to listen to that album 3 or 4 times before you get to the next thing, and that's good. You know, I like that.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's the same with vinyls as well. I collect a lot of vinyls and stuff as well, and it's just like you said. I feel like you get attached to bands a bit more, like listening to physical copies, because like you said, you're committed to listening to the whole album all the way through, and that might be a couple of times in a row rather than putting a playlist on shuffle. You listen to one song from each artist, and it just keeps rotating around like that. If it was on your phone.
So listen, people can go and order already the CD. You've got some gigs coming up, which is great. Okay, have you got merch as well?
Yeah, we got loads of merch up on the website, and we've got some exciting limited edition tour merch that will be up. Well, obviously that will be selling at the gigs, and they'll be on the website soon as well.
Okay, look forward to that limited edition merchandise, the T-shirts that say "We're the Rogues, not the Pogues." I'm looking forward to that T-shirt coming out at some point soon. That would be marvelous. Or Rogues spelt as many different ways as possible, all over a T-shirt. Again, you could really play on that. I feel with merchandise.
That'd be a cool idea for a T-shirt, I think.
Yeah. These are all the ways that people have spelt our band name. None of them are right. The right name's on the back. And then you have it on the back, you see. That would be marvellous. Thank you both for coming along and sharing a little bit about your music today. I really appreciated your music. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed listening to it for the last hour or so before you came on. I was there. I was deeply and intently listening. I feel it's a lovely poppy indie sound, which, you know, with some great songs. I can't see any reason why you shouldn't be successful with all of this. You know, just may the gods of indie rock bless you. Do you know what I mean? may you find your pathway. Let's hope that at this time next year you're on a tour with Inhaler. That would just be perfect.
Great,
That would be perfect. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I've 2 friends here from the Rogues. If you've enjoyed this conversation with them, please do now go and check out some of their music. You can move your thumb if you're on Spotify from there to there. God, dear. I know. You can take a sigh and a breath because, you know, that was probably the most exertion you've had all day. By pressing that button now, you're now listening to them. Go and add it to a playlist and then stop off and join their lovely little community on Instagram as well, and sign up to the newsletter. Get involved, you know, get ordering as well. Spend some money on the CD, because music, as I say a million times on the show, does not come out of the magic dot in the corner of the room. There is not little munchkins in there banging away on the drums and playing guitar. No, it's not AI. It's not AI. None of this stuff is AI. This is real musicians making real music, and all of the AI stuff that you listen to is utter rubbish. And there we go. You need to pay them, because otherwise they can't do it. That's the way of the world. Yeah. If you see them in the street, buy them a coffee or their vegetables or whatever else. You know, it's just good. We will be back soon with more of my music. But until then, from myself and my guest today, bye for now.